Okay, you all ready to get started? Turn to page one. Turn to page 62 in your hymn books. I love to tell the story. Page 62. We'll sing a couple verses. Page 62. I love to tell a story. If you don't sing, I'm going to bring the microphone under and have you sing a solo, okay? Bring the portable mic up. Here we go. I love to tell the story of unseen things above, of Jesus and His glory, of Jesus and His love. I love to tell the story because I know 'tis true. It satisfies my longings as nothing else can do. I love to tell the story, 'twill be my theme in glory, to tell the old story of Jesus and His love. Last verse. I love to tell the story, for those who know it best seem hungering and thirsting to hear it like the rest. And when in scenes of glory I sing the new song, 'twill be the old story that I have loved so long. I love to tell the story, 'twill be my theme in glory, to tell the old story of Jesus and His love. Thank you. Have a seat. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Does anybody have a spoken prayer request? Keep. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Pray for Chris. Keep praying for Bruce. For we got a text on Monday night about his. I can read the whole text, but Patty sends the text. Yeah, we walk through the valley. He just asked for wisdom. The doctors can find. They got to go back to the doctor 2.5 weeks from now, just to see if there's any. See if they can find out. See if they can take a piece of the tumor, just find out what it is to know how to fight it. If not, it's a long process of treatments. If they get a better idea of what to do, rather than just a long process of the treatments. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. Have fun. Okay. You going to Durban, right? Yeah. Well, that's where Mike and Carol used to go all the time. Step up and up before. Beautiful place. All right. Anybody else with a spoken request? Okay. 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 Right. Give that guy a visitor's card. Who is that? Charlie Shade. Yeah, yeah. As long as they eat too without having stuff in it. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Anybody else with a request? Spoken, unspoken request that we want to pray about, not to mention that loud. All right, let's go to Lord pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love and your mercy. Thank you for giving this to us. Lord, we don't understand why we, just like the subject of dementia and the prayer request, everyone in this room has affected us in some way. Lord, I pray you'll give grace to those who are suffering from it. Give grace for the family and those around the caregivers. I pray you'll use this for your honor and glory. I pray for the health issues, the other health issues that are mentioned. Chris with his fitness test coming up, and I pray you'll guide in these physical matters, Lord. I pray you'll bless in the spiritual matters for our family and friends that are lost and those who are out of church. And I pray that you use us for your glory. I pray you'll bless our class here and the class upstairs and the one in the back. And I pray you'll bless all the teachers and all the kids that are here tonight. I pray you'll use us this week for your honor and glory. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. Okay, get a couple of announcements real quick to go through. Wednesday, April 17th, that's next Wednesday. The Children's and Teens Easter party and store. So the kids in the back, do we want to have a party in here, or we just want to wait till they get done with it? We'll go get the leftovers. We'll get the leftovers. Okay. Saturday, April 20th is Easter egg hunt at our house at noon. That's Mount Tamer's house. And then Sunday, April the 21st, Easter Sunday, we'll have sunrise service at 6:30. Is that what we said? 6:30 Sunday morning on Easter Sunday morning, 6:30 at Floral Hills. And then we'll come here for breakfast. And we'll have regular Sunday school and church and the evening service, and we'll also have Lord's Supper that evening at 6:30. Okay. There was something else I was going to announce just a few minutes ago, and I forgot all about it. Those of you who serve with Helping Hands, we're doing that on Monday nights now again, and we had a good time this Monday night. Those of you can go out. There was something else I was going to. Oh, I know what it is. It's staying light longer. Okay, in the wintertime, I don't get to make a lot of visits because on Saturday people don't want to come stand at your door. They don't want you standing at the door, so we make some visits. And Al and I, on some nice days, have gone door to door. Anybody wants to go on Thursday night, go with us usually on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. If you have somebody specifically that you want us to go see, let us know. Give us an address and how to get someone's house. Go up this fork, turn here and turn left, the blue house, whatever. And let us know where to go. We'll go visit them. Write it down for us. Don't just tell us. And then if you want to go with us, we're glad for you to go with us. Okay, so you can go. The more the merrier. Okay, and we'll teach you. If any man wants to go with me on visitation, I'll teach you how to do it. It's really not hard as out. Just go out and talk to people. And you think I can't do that? I think about this all the time. I lost his name. Lost track of his name. Raymond Jordan came here, got saved, came here for a while, and on Thursday nights in February we said preacher said, we're going to teach everyone how to witness. On Thursday nights, we came in on 7 o'clock, we learned how to witness. And then the first Thursday night that there was no one else here but me and Raymond, and he'd been in class here for about a month. It was really the same stuff some of y'all went to a couple months ago. He said, I'll go with you, Brother John, but I can't talk to anybody. Well, you know Raymond, he talks to everybody. He doesn't, he just knows. It's like he knows people. The first house we went to, I'd been to the house before, didn't know who he was, but I could remember the name. Went up, knocked on the door, and a little twin boy about 8 years old, opened the door, and his brother, twin brother, stuck his head out, and I said, guess who's going to do the talking? Because Raymond's boys were about 14 at the time, and twins. And so I guess who's going to do the talking tonight? And Raymond did all the talking, and it was Ted and Vonda's house, and they've been coming here since. I mean, everyone got saved, and it's been good. If you go with us, I promise you, God will bless you if you go. Okay? And but John, I can't do that. Danny went with me a couple times, I think, just to. You think, oh no. And Danny had just got saved, and every house we went to, he's hugging everybody in the house. And then a good time going. We got to eat. He said, and we missed Joe's house that time. He said, I knew Christians ate like this, so I got saved a long time ago. So, all right. So, we got testimony before we get into the scriptures. Yes, sir. Okay, Charlie. Put that on the list then. Anybody else? Have a testimony. God's blessed you with something you want to tell everybody about. Going once, going twice. Okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. It's the last chapter in Ecclesiastes. You got Psalms and Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Get your Bible? In the car. I'm looking for one, and there's usually one in here in the pew somewhere I can grab and give to you. Because, okay, tonight's lesson doesn't apply to you. Is one back here, Tam? You comprehend better without looking? That Tam's going to give you one. Okay. Because we're going to talk about a subject tonight that I have no knowledge of. Okay, when I talk about praying, reading the Bible, raising children, or witnessing to people, when I talk about singing, there's things I know a little bit about. But tonight's subject is something I have no idea what it's about. All I'm going to do is read it, Charlie, because I have no idea what any of this is about. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you tonight, and hopefully you get it. Okay, because there's biblical principles for it. But there are people in this room that understand what I'm talking about when I start reading this stuff. Okay. I'm not one of them. Y'all with me on this? Okay. One day I taught the ladies. Miss Becky asked me to teach the ladies at a special ladies meeting one time. She said, "What do you want to teach on?" I want you to talk to the ladies only. I said, "What am I going to teach on?" She said, "Something you don't know about." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to teach on compassion because I don't know anything about compassion. Because I don't have compassion towards people. Hey, your bed, you made the bed." Okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I'm just going to read the verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Okay? If I read the scripture right, is this thing on? Okay. Look up this way. There's going to come a day for everybody in this room, and some people are already a little bit closer than the rest of us. Okay? There's going to come a day when you're going to be old enough and you're going to say, I just don't have any pleasure in what I do. I don't have any, there's no joy left in what I do. Okay? There's no, I can't get out and do what I used to do, and it really bothers me. Okay? I can't hear people, can't see people. Okay? So the scripture says, verse 1 says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. If you go back across the page, about 2 pages back in chapter 9, verse 2, it says all things come alike to all. There's one event to the righteous, to the wicked, and that one event unto all, chapter 9 verse 3, is death. Look up this way. Okay? We know that we're all going to die someday. Okay? But there's a process. Some of us die early. Okay? Car wreck, whatever. Some were taken out of, but without. Preacher Dave died of a heart attack. Okay, my mom was 73, a young 73, I thought, for some people that I know that are that age. She was 73 years old. Sunday afternoon, she was baking cookies with Rebecca, and Sunday night she died. I mean, everything was fine. She'd never really been sick at then. She just one day she's fine, next day we're planning her funeral. And it was that quick. Okay, so some people don't experience what these verses are going to talk about, but these verses talk about some things that happen and why it happens, and it's going to happen to most of us that are sitting here. Unless the Lord comes back tomorrow, it's going to happen to most of us eventually. Okay, chapter 12. Look at verse 2. I want to read verse 2, chapter 12, verse 2 through 7. I'm going to read it all. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, because this day's coming, nor the clouds return after the rain, in a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. You know what that is? There's going to come a day when your hands just shake because you can't get anything done. Okay? Okay? And some of us are there now. Some of our friends are there now. Their hands are shaking. They can't get done what they used to get done. Okay? When the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men at your legs shall bow themselves, and you totter around. You can't get done what you used to get done. Okay? And the grinders cease because they are few. What's the grinders? Any idea what the grinders are? Cease because they're few? Any idea? Mike, what's the grinders that cease because they're few? Teeth. Right. There's going to come a day when you can't do, physically, you can't do what you used to do. Okay? With your hands. Or your feet won't take you where they used to take you. Okay? I used to think I could do that, and I can't. Okay. I joke about not getting old because I feel like I'm 19 still. I'm 56. And I can't, and I think, I know it's been a year other than hunting season since I walked up on the hill. Okay, it's been a couple of years since I walked the fence line. I used to do it every week. Every week I check our fence line. That's been a couple of years since we're in that cows. I didn't need to do it, but I just don't do it what I used to do physically. Okay. I know people that don't eat as much. I mean, my dentist told me to quit chomping on ice. Okay, you chomp on ice all the time. I say, yes, I do. I'm driving. I like to chew on ice when I'm driving. You know, you don't chomp on ice, and quit eating almonds because they're great for your body, bad on your teeth. Okay, so quit eating almonds. And I thought, well, why? I got 2 cracked ones right now and about 3 missing. Okay, and he asked me. He said, do you want to keep them for looks or do you want to keep them for chewing? I said, I want to keep them for chewing. Okay. But the day comes and we'll lose them, right? For most of us, okay? We'll lose one at a time. Or my Uncle John lost all his at one time because the doctor was going to charge the whatever it is, the one dentist. He's going to charge so much to take one tooth out. He said, they're all going bad, take them all out, okay? Take one time, give me one set of dentures, just have them all take out one time, right? I think if I remember right, that's what he told me. Okay. And verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house tremble, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they're few. And those that look out of the windows, that your eyes be darkened, and you can't see what you used to see. Obviously, I can't see what I used to see. That's why I can't read hardly at all without these. And I don't know, just a couple of years ago I could, right? I guess it's 5 years ago to start wearing things. I remember shooting a deer with open sights at 200 yards. I walked it off afterwards, shot a deer at open sights one year. And this was 12 years ago. At 200 yards, open sight shot. Okay, didn't have a scope. Next year, I threw my gun up at a deer, missed. I couldn't even see. If I focused on the deer, the little sight at the end of my gun was fuzzy. And I thought, where'd that sight go? So then I'm still looking at the same deer, and I'm looking at trying to focus on the sight. Okay, where's the deer at? Okay, I can't see the deer because if I'm focused on that sight, then that deer at that time was only about 50 yards away, and I was like, I can't. Okay, one's there, one's not. Okay, next year I get a scope on the gun. And we know that happens, right? Okay. And the doors be shut, verse 4. And the doors be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, that your hearing starts going fading. And you shall rise up at the voice of a bird. That means the littlest things bother you. Okay? The chirping of a bird. You say, what's that? Well, I can't hear what that is. Okay? What's that sound? It wakes you up. It's just a bird. I heard something, and you can't figure out what it is. Janie, my sister, most of you met her. She is a gerontologist or whatever. She works with seniors, and she has done it forever. And she told me years ago, before Dad died, a couple of years before Dad died, she says there's going to come a time when he's going to you're going to walk in the living room. He's saying, get that fly off the wall. And you go walk over and say, it's chipped paint. And he said, no, get the fly off the wall. And you can look at it, you rub your hand across it and say, Dad, it's chipped paint. He won't be able to comprehend that it is chipped paint. That day is coming. That day is coming and gone with Dad. But you think, what does that sound? It's just a bird, okay? And all the daughters of music shall be, excuse me, he shall rise up with the voice of a bird, and all the daughters of music, in verse 4, shall be brought low. And you see people's mouths moving, but you can't hear what they're saying. Anybody there now? Okay, just the little hearing aid thing, and you think, why does everybody mumble? Okay, and I do that all the time. I had lunch with a friend yesterday, and hadn't seen him in a month. He's telling me something. I'm like, his lips are moving. I can't. There's music when a Mexican restaurant, Mexican music's playing, and I said, I can't hear what he is saying. So I want you to text me, so I can understand what you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Verse 5. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, that happens, or it doesn't happen, and people not afraid of things that are high, and they climb up on something and fall. Okay, and fear shall be in the way. And the almond tree shall flourish. That means your hair turns white. And the grasshopper shall be a burden, just something small as a grasshopper. Okay? Why? The grasshopper, two people look at this different ways. A couple different preachers look at this different ways. Grasshopper being a burden is that you can't pick the thing up. Okay? Or just the idea of where's that grass? I hear that chirping sound. I can't find it. And it's driving you crazy. Okay? Or a cricket in the house and you can't find the cricket, but you can hear the sound. Well, John, it drove me crazy when I was 12. Okay, it'll get worse. As you get older and you think, oh, what is that? And some of us can testify. And say, what is that sound? Where's that coming from? Okay, let's go on. And desire shall fail, because you'll look at something and say, that's what I want to do, and you get back and you say, I just won't do it. Okay? And you think, I want to, but I won't do it anymore. Mike was joking. Mike tells old stories, old people's stories all the time, or preacher stories, okay? Or, what's that one? Don't forget to write that down. If he hadn't told you that joke about write that down, but his wife sending his husband something, get something out of the kitchen, and brings back and thinks, write it down so you'll forget. Okay, just going to the kitchen, how can you forget? Okay, how can you forget what you're doing from the living room to the kitchen? Anybody do that yet? Okay, you don't have to wait till the almond tree blooms to do that, right? You have to wait. Mike said the other night. He said one guy was going to the kitchen, got there, forgot what he was going for, and as he's going back to the living room, he passed the bathroom and said, well, I'm gone this far, I might as well stop. Right? What did I go there for? Okay? I standing Danny called me one day, and I was standing in Kroger's. I had a list, I didn't have it written down in my head. I had a list of stuff I was going to get, stop at Kroger's and Dunbar on the way home from work. Danny called me, I was talking for a few minutes. Got off the phone. I knew it was in Kroger's. I didn't know why. I had no idea. Tammy or Rebecca had told me to pick up something on the way home, and I said, my goodness, I guess we're getting pizza tonight. Okay, Little Caesars, here we come. Because how can this happen? But it happens. Okay. Okay. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, verse 5, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond trees shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and the desire shall fail, because man goes to his long home that's going to the grave, and the mourners go about the streets. Wherever the silver cord is loosed, where the golden bowl be broken. Some people think about that as your spinal cord, but others think about your body leaving your soul leaving your body. Okay, at death. Wherever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all his vanities. Stop reading right there. For some people, their entire life comes to another. We know it's going to happen to us, and we'll get to a point, and they'll think, man, I should have. Okay? I may have touched on this several times when we went through Ecclesiastes, because it's written by a man that was almost 70 years old. Looking back, when he was 30, he wrote Proverbs, and then what God was telling him to tell people. At 70, he wrote this book, as looking back as an older man of what he had seen in life and saying, this is what I've learned besides what God taught me as a young man, teaching what we're supposed to do. This is what I learned as looking back, okay? Verse 8 says, all is vanity, okay? And there'll come a time, and some of us are there or getting close to it, when material things or material events lose their meaning, okay? I mean, a lot of people built big houses when they were younger. Then they get older and they say, I don't want to climb up the steps, okay? I know people that have stuff, and then they get after a while, the stuff that really doesn't matter, it look it's vanity because it's just stuff. It's just something else to clutter up one of these rental places down here that you got to store all your storage that you bought that you had to have, and then you wish you didn't have it, okay? Or you felt no need for it, or the dust that is piling up on those things just mocks you every time you walk by it because you don't use it, okay? Like the Nordic track machine, it's just dust that collects clothes and dust, okay? Vanity, vanity, saith the preacher, all is vanity. Vanity or empty or not important anymore. If that's true, let me ask you this. How do you think it's bad? I think it's bad to get old. You think it's bad to get old? Okay? You know what my dad said? He told me this, he's probably about 80 when he said it. He said, worse than dying is outliving all your friends. And he had outlived, other than Larry's dad, Earl Shamlin, he'd outlived about all his friends. I remember taking him to the funerals, or going to the funerals with him. And he said, it's awful. But then at a certain point you think, what good is all this that I've accumulated if it's just empty or mocks me? Or the events that I wanted to go to, sometimes we lose that desire. Okay? Is this all bad? I don't think it's bad for two things. Okay? If we get these two things right, then growing old can be really good. Okay? Tammy and I are celebrating today our 37th wedding anniversary. It doesn't seem like we could have been married that long. That means we've almost been married twice as long as what we were not married before we got married. Because we got married when we were 19. You know, if we back up a year, if we got married when we were 18, then now we've been married over twice as long as what we were. Mathematically, okay, like this long is how long we've been married, and this how long we were kids growing up, right? And you think, does it seem that way? Is it bad to get old? It doesn't have to be, but a lot of people it is, okay? And we talk about Marie's testimony or prayer request about her mom with the dementia thing. And you think that part is awful, okay? Or cancer is awful. And going through the trials that Bruce and Patty have gone through, her cancer and now his tumor and different people, heart conditions, and getting older, you think, hey, this is awful. Is it all bad? It can be if it's vanity. If here's where you're born, and you live your life, you grow up, you get married, you have kids, and whatever, and you go through your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever age you are, and you get over here and say it's all vanity, then it's bad. If you look back at it and say it's all empty, to me it's bad. Okay? To Solomon, it was bad. A lot of it was, well, John, but he had wealth. Yeah, we'll get to doing it at certain times. It meant nothing to him. At this point, he said it didn't mean anything to him. But he had all the wisdom. And at some point to Solomon, it's just emptiness. Okay? He had monkeys and peacocks and all these singers come in. He had the entertainment. Like we'd have big screen TV. He'd have live actors in his living room, put on the play for him or whatever. Okay? And he said at some point it becomes vanity if you don't do these two things. Versus this, verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. If somewhere back in here, and it doesn't matter if you start when you're 12 years old, when you first learn about Christ, or if you're 25 years old or 40 years old when you first learn about Christ, and you just get saved, and to me that's still youthful. Okay, for some people get saved when they're 60s, and they can still feel like they're youthful and useful. Okay, by saying, okay, I didn't know back then. Okay, I got saved when I was 17. If I'd heard the gospel when I was 12, if I'd heard a clear presentation of the gospel, I think I would have trusted Christ as my Savior when I was 12. and what kept me out of a lot of trouble, sin-wise, from 12 to 17, okay? And a lot of people get saved when they're older, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, okay? If you remember now they created in the days of the youth. Okay, what's that mean? Serve while you can. Find a way to serve. How do you serve? Serve people, okay? And Jesus said, as much as you've done in one of the least of these, my brethren, you've done it unto me. That means you find a way to serve. And you continue to serve. Lay not up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust doth corrupt, and thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and thieves do not break through and steal. That means you're making an investment here that's going to pay off there. And any investment that you make here that pays off there is a good investment. Because when you get older, you can't do anything anymore. You still can be reaping the benefits of what you did back there. You're going to reap them in heaven, but I think you're going to reap them here on earth. Okay? Serve where you can. If a small child, if a 4-year-old gets in their head that the whole world revolves around them, and we've met some of those kids, right? You may know some of those kids that are 4 years old and I think the whole world revolves around them. Okay, but if they're 4 and they can't comprehend that the world goes this way and they're just a little speck on it, but they're created in God's image and God's got a perfect plan for them, there's a whole lot more teaching to that. But if they get the idea at 4 that the world revolves around them, they're a terror by the time they're 14. Okay. They're awful by the time they're in their 20s. And everything they do is all about them, all about them, all about them, all about them. Unless something changes and they repent, they get over here and they look back and everything in life is empty. Okay? Everything in life. And that is frustrating to a lot of people. Because I've known people like this. I've known young people that way. I've known 4-year-olds that way. I've known middle-aged adults. I know middle-aged adults that are our age. Tammy and I are our age now. They're in their 50s, and the whole world's still supposed to revolve around them. And it's shocking to them that nobody else in the world gets it. You're here to be their servant. I mean, you don't understand it yet? Okay. They get over here and everything's missing. Something's missing. The whole purpose of life is missing to them. Okay? Serve while you can. Don't live for vanity or emptiness or stuff that doesn't matter. Love God and keep His commandments, when the verse says, for this is the whole duty of man. Let me ask you a question. Here's a question I ask everybody just about everybody I talk to that's completely out of church and not serving God. Doesn't read their Bible, doesn't pray, hasn't been in church for 20 years. I ask people, Jesus said, I've come that you might have life and have more abundantly. I ask people all the time, would you call your life right now an abundant life? So most of the people not everybody I talk to that's out of church says no. Okay? Would you call your life right now an abundant life? Abundant. Like got plenty. Not just plenty of financially having stuff, but have a joyful life. Okay? I guess my question to you right now is your life full of vanity or abundance? Okay? You talk about wealth, I'm talking about spiritual wealth and joy of life. Okay? No one can determine that. No one can answer that question but you. And no one can determine that for you for tomorrow and the next day and the next year or the next decade. No one can determine that but you. You can't blame anybody else for it. You can't blame somebody else. I've heard people blame their parents. I've heard people blame their kids. Okay? I've heard people blame the job. That's my fault because the teachers taught me wrong. Okay? It's because my Sunday school teacher never, my parents never. Every criminal blames their dad, right? If dad didn't take me to the ball games or whatever. Personally, you can only answer the question for yourself: is your life vanity or abundant life? And only you can answer that for yourself. Okay? And it's not a judgment of anybody else, because a lot of times we want to look at somebody else and say that's vanity, right? You don't do that. I kind of do that in my messages half the time, but in reality, I want that person to have a great life. But I'll try to teach people, preach to people have a great life. But I watch lives sometimes and I think, man, it's empty. I don't want that. Okay? I'm not saying this for you to be judgmental of other people, and not for other people to judge you, because you're the only one who can answer that question. Okay? Yep, does that make sense? Y'all with me on this? Okay. I don't know if that, sometimes I think I'm teaching my philosophies rather than God's philosophy that it's in the scriptures. Chapter 12, verse 12 says, much studies the weariness of the flesh. There's no way. Let's read a couple verses. Chapter 12, verse 12. Further, 11 and 12. The words of the wise are goads, something to poke you forward, and nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. That means learn from it. Of making many books, there's no end. There's a lot of people who write all kinds of stuff. And much study is weariness of the flesh. That means wear you out by reading books and trying to figure out what's supposed to be right, rather than just reading the book that's in your lap right now. A lot of people will study 15 other books and never pick the Bible up, and this is what God says. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter then. Rather than trying to find the answer from somebody else or what this book says is going to make you happy or someone else going to add value to your life. Let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Really? Simple as that. That's what it says. Fear God. If I truly fear God, then I'm not going to get out of line and do something I'm not supposed to do. If I truly fear God, then when he tells me to do something or leads me to do something, I'm going to follow along and do what I'm supposed to be doing. And in fearing God and keeping his commandments, Charlie, what I'm doing is I'm investing. I'm laying up treasures in heaven. I'm not talking about my bank account now. I'm investing in other people now. I've watched people for almost 40 years since I got saved. 39 years since Tammy and I got saved the same day. 39 years I've watched other people's lives. I've watched people invest and reap the benefits of it later. I've watched people live their vanities and be bored with them later, or look at it, get it to an empty life and say, what did I miss out on? Okay? I preached a funeral for a guy one time who lived his whole life according to what his family said. I never met him, he never came to church. When his kids came to church a couple times, or his grandkids were up here singing on his platform, he would not come. Didn't want to come, didn't want nothing to do with it. He had his own life, didn't need God or church or anybody else. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, he got his own way. At the funeral, there was probably, if the guys that come in didn't help carry the casket, there weren't enough men to carry the casket. Okay? Why? Because his whole life has been investing in himself, making himself happy, and making everyone else miserable. All right? I don't want that. That's vanity. That's emptiness. Did he invest in anything? Well, according to his kids, he never invested in his kids. According to his grandkids, which we knew when they came here, he never invested in his grandkids. Okay? Some of them were, I was surprised they even showed up for his funeral. Okay? Well, what's on? A lot of people like that. I would rather invest. Invest, fear God, and keep his commandments. What's his commandments? Love people. All the laws fulfilled in this: love thy neighbor as thyself. Love people and continue to do it. But what if they treat me bad? Love people and continue to do it. What if they stab you in the back? Love people and continue to do it. Well, but what if it doesn't seem like your investment is doing any good? Tammy and I picked up kids on a bus and took them to church in 1982, in 1983, in 1984. Half of them ended up in jail. Okay? Half of them got in trouble with drug traffic and ended up in jail for different things. And one of them works with Jared now. And Jared, they both live here in Sissonville. They work out of Parkersburg. But Jared, they were working together one day, and he asked where you lived, and they talked. And Jared told him where he lives, and that guy said, I knew a preacher lived there a long time ago. At least the kid hadn't forgotten. Now he's 40-something years old, probably 45 years old, 40-something years old. He hasn't forgot he knew where the preacher lived from when he was a 10-year-old boy. He remembered that much. Did he remember anything we taught him? I have no idea. Okay? And sometimes you think, yeah, I'm investing, it's not doing good. Just keep investing, keep investing. 2 weeks ago, on Friday evening, it was nice. It was like the first 80-degree day. I went out planting beans and corn. The beans are up like that. Okay? What if the frost gets them off? hours time, I can sell them all again, right? But my beans are up, Charlie. Rebecca loves picking beans. She hates picking beans. She loves stringing them, canning them, but not going out there picking them. My beans are up. What if it's a total loss? So what? Total loss. I enjoy doing it. I'll go back and do it again. Okay? What if my investment in those kids on that bus from 1982 was a waste? I have no idea. I don't know where they're at now. Okay? I don't know where all those kids are. I still got a picture of them, those kids in the Bible. I don't know where all those kids are. What if the kids that we brought tonight, back here, Jennifer's teaching, I don't know, Charles, I don't know how many was it, four of them come out one house? Something like that. When you lose track, they're all moving all the time. Even with the seatbelts on, they're still moving constantly. And you think, okay, what if it doesn't, what if her teaching them doesn't reach them at all? You never know. One of the boys may pastor the largest church in West Virginia someday. You have no idea. You just keep investing. What if you give to a missionary and he doesn't witness to anybody? You don't know. What if you give to a missionary and they win 1,000 people to Christ? You never know, right? Charlie and Michelle went to a thing last week about investing, given to a child that has great needs, right? I mean, there's in third world countries they have nothing. They're not going to hear the gospel unless they're not going to go to school unless someone pays for it, and it's a great investment. I think it's find out who these people are, make sure the money's going to the kids, and the gospel is going to be preached to the kids. But what if you never know anything about that child? What if you never hear from that child again? It's a great investment. Okay, just keep investing. What if you give and you don't return? There's no return on it. We can't now give God, so we'll give something back. Okay, it's like tithing. Some people, I'll never tithe. I don't have enough money to tithe. I tithe when I don't have any money left. Make sure I get next week's check comes in. Okay, because it should be given to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I believe what the scripture says. So I'll invest. It's worked so far for us for 39 years, for God's sake. Okay. When you're older, when everything breaks down or fails, you want to look back at life and say, all is vanity? Or you look back at life and say, thank you, Lord, for your blessings. The choice is yours. It's been an abundant life or it's been an empty life. And the choice is yours. And you're not standing before anybody else to give the judgment. And you're not standing in judgment of anybody else. You stand before God someday. But really, this vanity part comes back to us, our choices. What do we want to do with it? You only got one life. What do you want to do with it? I want to live it to the fullest. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for loving us. Thank you for the truth you've given us in your word. I pray you'll help us as we age, that we'll see these things coming. We look back and say, I'm glad I did, rather than I wished I had. Help us to be investing in other people that we were out to love God and keep His commandments, to remember you in the days of our youth. Whatever youth is for us at this age, it may be there's people here in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Help us to remember you all the days of our life, to put you first, to bring you glory. Thank you for loving us, for saving us. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. Any questions? I'm surprised Mike's not saying. Can you say that again? I couldn't hear what you said. Let's stand and sing. Sing Amazing Grace. We haven't sang that in a year. Amazing Grace. You don't need a verse for that. You don't need a book for that, unless I really mess it up. Okay? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Charlie, come up here and take up offering, will you? I forgot to do that. Charlie will pray for the offering. You also pray for dismissal, so after you empty your purse as he goes by, you can be dismissed.
Heavenly Father, for this opportunity to be here this evening, thank you for the life of forgiveness. Thank you for the sacrifice you made for us. Thank you for salvation you've given us, Lord, the opportunity to have. Help us to be good examples for you, Lord. I pray that the offering can be used so other people can be saved, Lord, that we can spread your message to just help us all be good examples and let people pray, see you in us and see something different, something that they want to watch over us, protect us, and guide us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.